This was an example that I did where I created the jacket information or created the jacket and I used it from Photoshop. It was a jacket and I had to take each individual name and then I exported the PNG file. Once I exported the PNG file, I brought it into Hatch and then I applied the click to outline. Just to give you an idea, and this is the jacket. So these are the words and I exported this. So this is what I created in Photoshop. So this jacket was one that I created. All right. So I ended up with this and I was able to stitch it. So I'll show you what I did. First of all, I'm going to get rid of everything that I don't need right now. And I'm going to hit delete. So now you see the actual graphic. So there's a few steps that I do. First off, I will go to Auto Digitize and I go click to outline. This will give me an automatic outline, and that's what I want because I want that entire white to be highlighted. So I'm going to click on this and it gives me this outline. Now the problem with this outline is it outlined the letters and it outlined the white. So first I go here, I go to edit. Well, actually, even before I do that, I need to catch my opens here. So back to outline, click on each opening. All right, so now once I've done that, now I go to this one. And I'm going to go to edit and break it apart because I don't want all of my letters yet. So I go back up, I look at my letters, so that's the here. I delete those because I'm going to go back and do those individually. But see these pieces here? If you click on them, it shows you where these pieces are. So each individual piece is here, and I'm going to get rid of that letter N because I don't want that outline. All right, and then here's my things that I highlighted earlier. Okay, so now I've got all of these. I am going to take all of these and I am going to duplicate them. And I'm going to change their color. So I'm going to turn them into, normally I start off with red. So I am going to I'm going to do purple just for the heck of it. So these are all purple. So the top is my outline that I'm going to use when I send this to Cricut. And this is going to be my outline and all my zigzag stitches to tack it down. So here's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to click on these, highlight all of them, go to outline and choose zigzag. Now, here's where it gets to be a problem sometimes. When you do that, see how it did this with the stitches? So what I usually do is go to stitching, or I'm sorry, I go to outline, and I'll go back to the ones that are looking really crazy, like this one here. Let's see if we can find. So any of these that have those lines like this one here, I hit offset and it changes it. So I do that for each one. I hit offset. It kind of repairs it a little bit. So I hit offset here. Now that one, it didn't really do it. Sometimes I have to go back in and digitize them all over because I don't like the way that it looks. In addition to that, these on this outline here, I will do an offset on that and it fixes it for the most part. But there are some that you have to go back and you have to do your digitizing like this one. See, I've got it set on offset. Maybe I can break it apart some more. So if I break it apart some more, now look, it fixed itself. So then what I do is I'll click on these, all of them, And I will go to stitching and get rid of my underlay. So now my outlines are all there. Okay? Except for this one. So I'll click here, go to outline. And now sometimes when I do this and I try to change it to zigzag, it will not change it to zigzag for me. It wants to be a total pain in the butt. So sometimes you have those problems where when I click on it here and I try to change it to a zigzag, nothing happens. So here's what I have to do. I have to go back up to edit and break it apart because they're treating it together. Now I won't need this outline because I'm going to do that when I do my individual letters. So I'm going to delete that one. And then I'm going to click here for my inner outline and I'm going to change it to a zigzag. Now if I hit offset, see how it moved it in? But a lot of times when you're on the inside of these letters, you can just leave it at normal. Now I do also have one additional outline here. You can leave it, which is up here, or you can delete it because you're not really going to need it because you're going to fill in that letter O. So that's one of the things that's an issue with this, but you know, it's just how it works. All right, same thing here. Here's my letter P. If I try to change it to a zigzag, it won't. So I have to go to edit, break it apart, get rid of the inside, click on this one, change it to a zigzag, and you can fix the zigzag. It's not, it looks horrible here, but you can always fix it, you know, stretch it out a little bit. And you can also, when you get through all of these, you have to go to stitching and take the underlay out on all of these that you create. All right, so here's another one. Right here, I'm going to break it apart. This is only on the ones that you need the zigzag stitching. I'm going to go and put the zigzag. And I try to stretch it a little bit. Sometimes I just do a whole redigitizing. Go to my stitching, get rid of the underlay. But that gives you an idea of how I do that for the outline. Now, what I also will do is I have to do these individual letters. So once again, once we go back, now we're starting at the bottom. I'm going to go back to my click to outline, and each individual letter I'm going to click, and you notice it's creating the individual letters. Yes, this is a pain. If you all have a better way to do it, please show me. So here's the letters I can use for my outline. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of these letters and I'm going to duplicate them. So I duplicate them. One set I'm going to turn yellow because that's what I normally do for my outline. Now you notice it's already set for, it's already set for outline, but I didn't mean to do that, I'm sorry. So it's already set for outline here. Don't click it again, otherwise you'll get a bunch of zigzags. But I want to make sure that it's closed space with a straight line. And then I can export these letters. So if I do my export cutting, I can export the letters. And make sure you choose export selected objects only. And I will export those letters because they have the outline. Now the duplicated part, which is here, I'm going to push that to the bottom of all my stitching. The other problem is you got to put these things in order. Now here I'm going to click on my zigzag. Oh, it's not going to do it, is it? I forgot. Hold on. I'm going to click that outline this time. And now it gives me the zigzags going around. I go to stitching and I get rid of all of the underlay. So now, if you can see, I have a zigzag stitch going around the letters. However, I'm going to change them to offset. So they move to the inside. And see, each one has its own stitch going around the letter. Sometimes you end up with some extra stitches that you'll have to fix, but that is the bottom part, or the second half. Now, once you get to this point, and up here, you want to click on these. These are all the cuts. Right click, make sure it's closed shape. Choose outline first. Then make sure this is not there. You choose the closed shape with a straight line. If it's already grayed out, it's ready to go. I'm going to export that cutting too. And I'm going to call it outline. All right. Yeah, no, this is a lot. Now, you also have to go through and look at each one and see, is there anything you need to fix? Sometimes when you go in like here, you can't move or offset, but you can take the stitch and kind of back it up a little bit so it's in the right place. So there is some repair that you have to do to this in order to make it work. Sometimes you have to just redigitize these inside pieces because they just don't move very well. All right, so anyway, you get the general idea how this kind of works. Now we'll go to Cricut and we will test this out as soon as I get done fixing these. Yeah, this is the fun part they don't talk about. I think that's why these people get paid big money to do this. Yeah, it's close enough. It's like horseshoes and hand grenades. Let's pull it up just a little more. Pull it out some. It's hard to do. Okay. Well, anyway, but you get the general idea. You just have to fix it. Oh, I think before we even go out, let me go ahead and run this. Now, oh, I see some other things. Right here, this purple, that's supposed to be the purple stitching, but this particular stitch, we got to change it to normal so it moves back in. So there are some that you have to change to normal to stop them from stitching on top of your outline. So there's a few there. I think that's the only letters that have that issue. Okay, so now we're finished with that file. You sent your 2 files out for cutting. The only thing you have to come back here is to get the stitching order correct. So right now I'm going white, purple, yellow, and then blue. So here, let's see what it does real quick. So here, it's stitching the outline. Then it's going to come back, and after it stitches the outline, now it's stitching around the outside of the white outline with the zigzag. And then it does the inside. Now this is not the proper order, but I just wanted you to see how this works. So it's doing each one of these stitches. I can probably put this in a better order. Now it's going to do the letters. It's doing the outline for the letters. And then once it finishes the outline for the letters, it's going to do the zigzag stitch for the letters. I could zoom in a little so you can see. So it starts the zigzag process for each individual letter. And that's the file. I already sent the jacket out. Sorry, I don't have a picture of it. All right, so once it's done, that's your file to do your stitch on your machine. at least on my machine. I'm using a Topaz 50 single needle. All right, so let me show you about Cricut real quick. Okay, I went ahead and opened up Cricut, so I'm uploading my file. And I think I stuck it in downloads. So here, the letters, let's look at the outline first. Now it's in white, so you can't really see it all that great here. But here is the actual outline that I already did. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and change the color to something you can see. Let's make it red. All right, so here's the outline. And what you have to do is when Cricut brings this in, it brings it in and the pieces are supposed to get cut, but what you have to do is you have to go in and take those pieces out. So how this works is down here is the entire outline. So I'm going to click on it, and you have to do this one at a time. Click here, slice it, and then delete both slices. And when you delete both slices, it creates the openings you need. So you have to do this for each individual piece when you do these outlines like this. Did I do that wrong? Hold on. This one and that one. So it opens up. So yeah, keep on slicing. So once you've got them all completed, then you check your measurements. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm finishing up the last couple pieces. So open up the R and the P. And there, now we have our full outline. Now, if you want, you don't have to keep this little piece because it's going to be hard to stitch down, but that's strictly up to you. But there is my background. Now I'm going to do an upload and go and grab my letters, and the same thing applies with the letters. They're bright yellow. All right, so there's the letters. Now the letters seem to have come in okay, so they didn't come in where I had to cut anything. So there's the letters. Now what you can do is you can check your sizing. So let's shrink this just a little bit, and let's go to the top. So let's look at this. This is our outline. Let's pull Cricut back up and push this in. So my outline, which is down here, hold on, I'm going to click on it. I've got 13.997. Here I've got 1400. So I usually change this in my hatch to match my cut. So it's really not that far off, but I take the lock off and I change it to match. So 13,997 and 2286. And this is where sometimes it can cause a problem. So I do 2286. All right. So now my outline it'll actually match. Now, that's just for the outline. It shouldn't affect the inside letters because it really wasn't that far off. All these different pieces, I usually don't mess with. I just leave them as they are. So here I've got 1400, 2287. Don't forget about this one. I need to see it's 1400, 2287 already. So when I cut it, I want the cut to match what my zigzag is going over. In addition to that, I can come down, I check usually my first letter. So here's the letter P. Now I have to go in and find it. The letter P in this case is 1221 and 2005. The letters always come out perfect as far as the cut. Like the R, it is 1357. Let's click on 1357 2005. 13572005. So that's ready to go. So all I have to do is put this in my Cricut and cut it. And that's how I put the two together. The only thing you have to remember here is when you go to File, you just export your design to whatever machine that you need. And mine's a VP3 because of the topazes. But that's how I do it. I hope I didn't confuse you too much, but I had to finagle this because I don't have the fancy multi-needles. I've got 3 machines, 2 Topaz 50s, and a designer diamond. And that's what I use. So let me know what you think.